how to make histograms, and I will use a data set that's called diamonds. So I make an object, let's say my file is equal to read.csv. I'm using CSV because my data is in CSV file, and then file dot choose, and then these parentheses, and then control enter, and it opens a new window, and in that window the name of that data is diamond. So you can see here, this is my data file, and you can clearly see its CSV is visible here. So I open this one, and now my data is here, and you can see here it also appears here. Now let's have a very quick overview of this data, and view my file, control enter, and it shows this data. That data is about diamonds. This is about carats and color, clarity of diamonds, depth, price per carat, and total price. So that's all about data. Okay. And one more thing that we can do is that we can attach it, and for that I will say my file, attach my file. Okay, that has been attached. Let's see. So let's say for instance I just entered here standard deviation, and it gives me standard deviation, this one. So I just wanted to check, that's not our purpose. So we want to make histogram, and there are two ways to make histogram. One is a simpler way. The simple way is that we just write hist, that stands for histogram, and then we write here our data, my file, and actually we don't have to write my file because we have already attached data. So uh, price per carat, uh, yeah, this one. So you see it appears here, which mean data has been successfully imported here, and I can press here control enter. That will be the minimum requirement for making a histogram. So let's say when I see control enter, let's see what happens. So you see here this histogram is formed. This is a very simple histogram, and in the next step we will make it a little bit more beautiful. So we will add here a number of things. So the first thing I will do is that I will add here color, and for color I will add col is equal to the first one, is equal to, let's say if I want red color, and let me press again control enter to see. So that's this color. And if you don't like this color, you want to choose some other color, you can write here turquoise color, and this is how it appears. We will also have more option, and that's you go to this website, HTML color codes, and in HTML color codes on this website there are different colors, so you can choose a color of your choice. Let's say if I choose this color, and here is its code, I will copy it, and then I will enter it here, paste it here, and if I press control enter, so you see the same color appears here. So that's one way. And another thing that we need to do here is that's called breaks. And so that appear breaks is equal to, let's say I choose 20. I will explain it later what does it mean. So that number of breaks, it determines the shape of histogram. So that's with 20 it's this one. Let's say if I make it 40. Now just look at how the shape of histogram will change, and it becomes this. If I increase it by 50, now again look how it changes. So not much change. So that's essentially a trial and error method, which means you just see that which breaks will give us a reasonable histogram, And the next thing will be labels. So for that, first we go for x-axis label, and for that command is xlab is equal to within double inverted commas price per carat. And here you have choice. So these labels that you write within double inverted commas, you have choice. They are not part of the command. So whatever you choose, it will appear there. I can show you. If I press Control Enter, you see here price per carat appears. And then y label is frequency. Let's say if I want to change it to something else, so I will enter y label is equal to, suppose if I want to write here count rather than frequency, so I enter this one, and you see that frequency has been changed to count. And the last thing is I want to change the title. Right now its title is histogram of price per carat, and I want to appear them separate. And for that I will write here main means title, and that will be um, let's say if I say diamonds price, and you see here it appears this one. So that's a normal histogram by using a very simplistic function, and that um, works perfectly. Now there is another way that's a little bit more sophisticated way. Let's also do that, and that way requires installing certain packages. And one of the package is called ggplot. So I will go here, install packages, and then ggplot. There's another way you can by tidyverse, but let's at this moment use ggplot, and then Control Enter, and you see this package is downloaded. And then we need to require ggplot, and Control Enter. So now well, the name of this package ggplot2. So I will run it again, ggplot2. It says it's already loaded, so I will leave it. I will write a ggplot2, and I will run it. Or another way is that require it. So for this one I will use ggplot2, and now this has been called in. You see here it says that require ggplot2, it appears here. Now for this one we can make a little bit more beautiful histogram, and for this purpose the command that we use is this one, ggplot. So that's a way how we do that. And then you can write here my file is the object that's containing, and then aesthetics, aes, and that stands for aesthetics. And then x-axis, we know in x-axis this will be price um, per carat. And let's say then we have to add more. So for that purpose I will add here plus sign, and then uh, just enter, not control enter will run it, and I don't want to run it because this command is yet incomplete. So you just press enter at this point, and when you do that you see here it appears here with some spacing. So do not change it, just use it as this spacing it's required. It will automatically create this spacing indentation. Okay, and now you need to write here geom dot histogram, and this one. Now this is a very simple form of histogram that we will be making using ggplot. Let me clear this one. Okay, I clear this one and I will run this command and it should give me a very simple histogram. Mm, so in aesthetics is we need to enter here uh, the name of that variable in exactly the way it appears in the file, and when you run it, it gives this histogram. This is okay, but it's a little bit ugly and we need to make it more beautiful, and for that purpose let's do it. So the first thing is we can say bins. That's exactly the same thing that we use breaks in the earlier version, and if I run it, uh, we get this one, and then let me add some other thing, for example color. And for color, I will I can choose red. Okay, now no, here are two things. One is the color and other is fill. So for example, let's say for color, that's outline. Suppose if I choose blue color, that will be the outline, and you see the outline becomes this one. And then the next thing is fill, that what color we want to fill. And for that again, we you can either specify here red, turquoise, green, pink, whatever you like. Let's say if I write here pink, but in case if you want to go to this htmlcolorcode.com and suppose you want to fill a color something orange type, then just copy its code and I will enter it here, and if I run the command, you see that color appears here. Okay, now we still have to add many more things, especially labels. So for that I need to go to the next line, and for that again I will add here plus, which means my command is not yet complete and I am going to the next line, and just press enter or return, but not control enter. Do not run it uh, at the moment because it's not complete. Let's say the next thing I want to do is about labels. So X lab, which means X label, and right now it's price per carat, and I want to make it more clear. And then next thing will be um, plus Y label, and that will be, let's say, call it frequency. It doesn't matter. And let's say if I run it to see how these changes, and I'm expecting that this count will change to frequency and this one will be expanded. So when I run it, yeah, that's exactly happen. And the next thing is that I have to enter here a title. So again I will add here plus sign, which means I'm going to the next line, and um, again you see here this spacing, so which is normal, it should be there. You are not supposed to remove this spacing. And for title I will use this one gg uh, title, and let's say I give it a name and diamonds price, and we need to write it in double inverted commas, and if I enter it, run it, it gives diamonds price. So that's another way of making histogram by uh, using ggplot. Now there's one more thing that I want to uh, say is that this diamonds price is on the left side. I want it to appear in the center, although it's not a big issue, but let's do it. So for this purpose I will convert this whole thing into an object. So for example, let's say I say I create a new object. Let's say that this time I call it my file 2. So remember, Our earlier one was my file. Yeah, this one was my file, but this one I'm using a different name, my file 2. And I just copy this whole thing and I write it here, which mean that everything has been stored in this my file. And let me clear this one. You want to clear this one? Yes, we clear this one. Now if I run this one, nothing will happen. So you see here, when I run it, nothing happens. However, if I run this my file too, then a new the same histogram will be formed. So I write here my file 2, and if I press Control Enter, it should give me the same histogram here. So the idea behind this is that the whole this whole command, it has been stored in an object that's called my file 2. So when I run this my file 2, it gives me this command. Okay, and now I want to add here a little bit more thing, and so that I add here plus sign and then control, and I write here theme and then plot title, and then element underscore text and edge adjust, which mean horizontal justification, and you see it appears in suggestion is equal to 0.5. So which mean that I want this title to appear in the middle. If I enter here 0, it will be something different. If I enter here 1, it will be on another side. But let's say when I will hit control enter, right now it's on the left side, this diamond side. But once I press control enter, this one will move in the center here. So let's see, control enter, so it moves in the center. Okay, let's say if I just use 0 instead, I want to see what happens. So if in the it's just that's horizontal justification, if I press it, then it moves on the left. If I use 1, let's see what happens then it goes on extreme right side, and of course we don't want it, we just want it to be in the middle. So I use here horizontal justification 0.5. So here it will be 0, it just 0 will bring it here, 0.5 here and 1 here. Okay, and we are done with this one. We have this beautiful histogram, and in this histogram we have everything. It's fully labeled, and its name is also there. And one last thing that we can do is that you can also copy it, a click on export and then copy to clipboard. And now this has been copied, and you can click on copy plot, and if you go on word, a file, if something, a new file, uh, it will give us, you can copy paste it there. So that's all about making histograms in using simple RStudio method and using a more sophisticated ggplot.